Stop. I feel differently today. I'm not as high on him. I'm not sure he's mature enough. Now I'm going to have to like Kenny Pickett. J-Mac.
Oh, boy. I'm laughing at Kenny Pickett, not obviously the Shedeur situation. But, Colin, that's an interesting 180 from you, my guy.
Yep.
Going from, hey, put him in the Hall of Fame because of 7-on-7 drills in June. And now it's like, well, he was going 41 over the limit.
Hey, you know me. You and I are similar this way. New information, new opinion.
I would agree.
And I said, I did not like the legendary draft room. It was cringy. It's not the end of the world, but people reached out. You add these two together, all you have to do, Cleveland, Manziel, Baker, I kept saying, Baker did them. Wasn't the end of the world, but it's something. It's a lack of self-awareness. You know, it's like your shirt off, posing with a tiger. It's like, bro, how about you play a game, like one, before you go supermodel on us? And in the end, Stefanski and Andrew Berry, two smart guys, were like, yeah, he's starting too many fires, not putting them out. It's something.
Yeah, interesting. So Dylan Gabriel, QB1. No, in all seriousness, though, regarding Shedeur, like, a speeding ticket's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world.
It's after midnight. Sounds like it was a nice new vehicle he's got, probably a V8, a lot of power. I guess my question, Colin, is like, have you ever worked with someone who you knew was on thin ice and you're like, man, they're looking for a reason to get rid of that guy. He better not screw up. And he makes one misstep, and he's gone. Have you ever worked with somebody in that realm?
Listen, when you fall to the 5th round and are perceived as a first-round quarterback, you are on thin ice. And when there's a perception that the owner wanted you drafted, not the GM, you are on perilously thin ice. They're not letting him practice with the ones. Dylan Gabriel is. You're on even thinner ice. You can't get in trouble. You can't get in trouble. This is not good. Do not minimize. I can assure you this. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski didn't go, this is super duper.
Well, yeah.
They rolled their eyes.
They probably went, kind of were looking at the owner like, see, I told you. But, again, this is just a speeding ticket. I'm going to remind you, Dak Prescott had an incident before the draft. Do you remember? Not great.
That's right.
Had an incident. And people were like, oh, how can you do that before the draft? Like, where's the awareness?
But Dak Prescott, if you went back to, and I said this, the Dak Prescott stuff I talked about on this show, and he did drop to the 4th round for being a very good college quarterback. But Dak Prescott, from that moment on, has been one of the best leaders, period, at any position in the NFL. I'm saying it's not the end of the world, but when you, and there, by the way, there were 4 or 5 incidents. I saw one piece of video against Nebraska where Shedeur did some stuff on the field I didn't love. By the way, there are people on the internet that will find you 4 or 5 and 6 pieces of video in college where he was a little into Shedeur Sanders, not the greatest teammate.
Right.
Again, I stayed away from that, but when I watched the legendary draft room, I'm like, oh, dude, a little. Again, if he's a cornerback, you know my rule on this. I look at point guards and quarterbacks differently. I look at it now, and I'm just, this may be the last Shedeur Sanders segment I do.
Wow,
I think it may be. Yeah, I think it is.
Over a speeding ticket? Colin.
Again, you're not listening. It's not a speeding ticket. It's multiple incidents in college. It's the draft room. Just like broadcasters. If your show doesn't get ratings, you're on thin ice.
You overlooked all of that during the OTAs when he was crushing.
No, I didn't. I talked about it every day that it was amazing. I've never overlooked a thing. I've always gone over the top positive. J-Mac, let me give you some guidance as an old guy. Okay, very few people in important positions, you're judged every day.
100%.
I'm judged by management at my company, and they like me every day. Doesn't take many screw-ups. Narratives change. And that's after success. I mean, think how great Brady was. Belichick was drafting quarterbacks every other year, just in case. Garoppolo, 2nd round. They couldn't have used another receiver. If you don't think management's talking about it, I had a great agent. Years ago, I had an agent. I brought him up yesterday named Nick Kahn. Nick Kahn, the greatest advice I ever got. He said, companies make a decision a year before they tell you. I now own a company. I make decisions 6 months before I tell anybody. You think upstairs in the building, they're just like, it's just, his foot got stuck on the gas. It's not the way it works.
I agree. This is so weird. You were a big Shedeur guy. I was kind of anti. They like Dylan Gabriel. Now this, and I find myself, I kind of want to defend Shedeur a little bit, but it's not indefensible.
By the way, let's not take you or I. Somebody's watching or listening to my show. Love your wife. Great kids. Supportive, got your back. You walk in, she's with a mailman.
What?
Does it not change everything?
I mean,
it's not the end of the world. She's not an axe murderer. Infidelity in an instant changes everything. And it's not the end of the world. It happens all the time in relationships. It's something not appropriate.
No,
go ahead.
How does he overcome this? Again, it's not a great look. I don't think it's the end of the world,
I didn't say it was.
Yeah,
I said for me, I didn't say it. For me, it's different.
Yeah.
Now it's different. Sorry, I'm out. Good luck, 5th round guy. You know what? I'm going to go to a Reddit board under CC and start posting some Dylan Gabriel's the Man posts.
Get on board the hype train, baby. Dylan